was an oppressively stifling tropical summer's day on Fraser Island. The alpha male and female had left the pups at a rendezvous site while they went out hunting. The pups were 4 months old. This was the perfect age. They had survived potential starvation during the critical first 3 months of their lives and were now weaned from their mother's milk. They had started to learn to hunt, but were still provided for with regurgitative food transfer and carcass delivery by their parents, which would continue for at least another 2 months, often at the sacrifice and detriment of their parents' welfare. While their parents were out hunting, the pups played and rested and ventured out on forays alone. Each fascinating new trip away from their rendezvous area was a new opportunity to learn about their territory and to test the dexterity of their growing bodies, improving their coordination and motor functions. Their imaginative repertoire of play activities taught the pups survival skills in an endless variety of ways. On this hot November day, they took themselves on a foray deep in the forest to a creek on the edge of the swamp, where they had discovered that they could teach themselves to balance on narrow trees that had fallen across the creek, without being hurt if they fell. The creek was hidden deep in the forest, possibly never seen by any person, other than ancient Aboriginals who were the dingoes' companions and friends. It was not very hospitable to people. It was surrounded by razor grass, pointy reeds and spiky palms. But the pups had created a tunnel through the razor grass, which was their shortcut to the bank. On my first day at this spot, they proudly demonstrated their tunnel to me by running in and out of it several times. I could not get through it, of course, and had to gingerly make my way through the sharp grass, which dug in and clung as it cut. I had many rips in my cargo pants and any exposed flesh from observing this game, and had to balance precariously myself in order to observe it. But it was so worth it. They found a narrow tree which had a very steep incline and was balanced against a log on the other side. The pups' eager confidence was taking them higher and higher up the narrow trunk. During one of their first attempts to climb this tree, Misty fell off and landed with an enormous splash in the water below. At first concerned, the other two pups soon copied her and managed to do it without such a humiliating fall. But like with everything, they approached mistakes as a fun chance to learn and continued the game irrespective of slightly damaged egos. Further up the creek, two trees had fallen next to each other, but one was slightly more elevated than the other, creating a kind of uneven parallel bar arrangement. All six pups discovered the twin trees and began climbing up from different angles. They often lost balance and hung precariously by front paws and elbows until they let themselves drop. Then they splashed through the water in great leaps to the other side, only to climb back up the bank and start it all over again. Once on the other side, which was extremely uneven, they often at times lost balance and went tumbling carelessly down the bank to the creek below. Moonlight was the last to attempt the twin tree crossing. Once over on the other side on the ground, he seemed unable to cross back over. He began to whine, which alerted the other pups to his dilemma. His whine turned into a full-blown howl of anguish. Everyone sat up alert, but did not attempt to cross over to show him how to get back. Instead, they watched his progress as he made his way west along the creek, looking for another crossing. Much rustling of reeds, grass and undergrowth ensued as he wandered back and forth, whining. Eventually he found a log downstream and tottered across it carefully. The other pups heard his progress and were there to greet him when he made it safely to our side of the creek. This then became the focus of the game: to cross the twin trees, stumble around on the other side, find Moonlight's bridge, and return to the start and do it all again. They all still fell continuously, but their ability to leap from one log to the next without falling was improving. They showed incredible balance when all four legs were on one log and could turn themselves around easily. They would be agile, nimble and skilled hunters if they had been given the chance to grow up. At the end of their time alone, no matter where the boisterous and adventurous pups had wandered to, one of the parents came and found them using their incredible acuity, attentiveness to their environment, and powers of observation. It seemed to me at times that dingoes could tell the time, because on nearly every occasion that the pack had separated, all individual members met back at the rendezvous site within minutes of each other. There is so much we have yet to learn about the secret life of dingoes. Dingoes don't deserve the reputation as ruthless killers. In their natural environment, they only kill what they need in order to survive, like every other predator on this planet. They don't destroy their environment like we do. They live in harmony with the world and each other. They are nice to each other, empathetic and polite. They like being nice to us. It's no wonder people hate dingoes so much when we can barely be civil and kind to each other. I believe the human race hates wolves and dingoes because they exemplify what we are not. They were created to be our friends and companions, and yet dogs of all kinds are the most abused and cruelly treated animals in every country and culture. We should step back, observe the way they treat each other, learn from their enlightened and harmonious approach to the world, and give them our utmost respect. The puppies in this short film were just puppies, beautiful, innocent animals just like our own puppies, living, loving and cherishing their own lives and their family members. I am privileged to have lived with these animals in the wild, and I hope that through my experience you too have enjoyed a glance into the secret life of one of our most precious assets, the Australian wolf, the dingo.